Hello, coin collecting and stacking community, aspiring numismatists and numismatists alike. Welcome back to part 3 in this 2024 Privy Metal signed COA series that I've sort of started by accident after receiving this metal a week or so ago from the US Mint. And I've been evaluating offers I've received from dealers and in folks in the wholesale community. I decided not to retail this out. But as I'm evaluating some of these, and if you haven't seen the video where I talk about that, I've linked it in the description below, so you can check that out. But you look at the premium that we're getting for this signature. And while I'm sure that Ventris C. Gibson is a fabulous person and an excellent mint director, even as a guy that's been collecting coins my whole life, I didn't know who she was until I received this in the mail a week or so ago. And so it got me thinking rather, about what is the value? Like, why is this, other than obviously the limited nature of this, right? 155 of 230. This sort of artificial rarity that the mint has come up with. And then, of course, the privy mark, if you haven't seen it. There it is. Beautiful with or without it. There it is with the privy. And here it is without the privy. And it's funny that, in fact, the one without the privy is a much nicer metal, because if you remember from my other video, this one here with the privy has, you can even see it already, right? That watermark right there, that milk spot, and the milk spot under here. So the non-privy metal is actually a much nicer metal. I may actually get that one graded because I think it could potentially get a 70. This one I'm concerned about because of those milk spots. But back to the topic of the video today. So this signature, as somebody who has been collecting my whole life, I understand the value of certain mint marks and dates, or repunch mint marks, or double dies, or all of these kind of crazy things. And these tiny little differences can make a big, big difference in the value of a coin. We all know that. But then there's this wild card factor, which is this, literally a wild card. It's a COA card with a signature on it, and a couple other things that are a little different about it, like the privy you can see on the printing there. But other than that, what's the real value of this thing? So I started looking back through numismatic history, as I often do. You can see I'm quite the reader of numismatic things. And looking back through the history of this, I was thinking to myself, when can I find another recent example of something where a signature really carried the weight, the value, and so forth of a coin? And I looked back and I remembered 1938, of all times, 1938, and I happen to have a 1938 nickel right here. Two, in fact, because in 1938, we had the Buffalo nickel, which was around for, a period of time, and then it was replaced by the Jefferson nickel, designed by Felix Schlag. And so these are both nice, beautiful MS-66 examples of those. But so in 1938, after Felix had been awarded the essentially the commission to do the Jefferson nickel, the mint gave him 150 proof nickels, so 1938 proof nickels. And he went and took them, and you'll have to forgive my low-tech version here, but this is not a real one, obviously. But he went and took these nickels, which you can see right here in the middle, and he mounted them in this frame. He took a picture. This isn't the actual nickel, but that's his original design. You can see that the Monticello, hopefully you can see that there, is a little different. It's not a dead-on view like the final design, but that's his original design. His signature here, it's embossed here with a stamp. The number's there, and it's notarized. So this guy right here just sold at Heritage Auctions back in January 2024 for $4,440. So this, guys, is not a metal, right? So some differences. This isn't a metal, it's a coin. It's denominated. It's not made out of a precious metal like silver, like the silver metal is. And it didn't come from the mint with a signature like this one does. But here's an example of a coin where the designer, by the way, Felix was a renowned and an award-winning sculptor and medalist in his own right, up even before he was ever awarded this. But he went and he made 150 of these, and he distributed them out to his friends. And there's only 150, so that's one thing they have in common, right? So 230 of these guys right here, 150 of these guys right here. So I made my little schematic that kind of shows everything marked up here. So here he's signed it, it's framed it. That's the proof mounted in there and notarized with the number and the seal. Now, when Heritage was pitching this to the numismatic community, they referenced an auction that had happened back in May of 2023. So, gosh, not even 6-8 months before. 8 months? Yeah, let's just say 8 months. You guys can correct me in the comments. So this one here is number 29 of 150, and it auctioned back in May of 2023 for $8,400. So again, this is almost an 80-year-old thing. It has been signed by the person who actually won the commission for the Jefferson nickel, a design that's endured through time. Sure, it's had some changes in the last 20 years or so, but the nickel itself has endured through time. And then there is this signature here. So, while I'll disclose what I'm going to be selling this for and to whom, well, I'm not going to say to whom because they want to remain anonymous, but I'll be disclosing the amount in a video tomorrow or the next day. It is in excess of what this was awarded, in 2024, this, almost 80-year-old thing. And you see them on eBay for selling in well in excess of this $8,400 for this 1938 proof nickel signed and notarized. I don't know what the answer is. I wanted to just make this quick video and throw it out there. I'd love to hear your comments about what you think a signature is worth essentially. Certainly I understand the privy mark difference, but the signature itself. When I was looking back, I was thinking, my God, do we have medals that are accompanied by signatures, or George Washington or Thomas Jefferson or something? Abraham Lincoln, signed a nickel and stuck it in somewhere. I don't know. But it is kind of crazy to me when I think about the fact that this guy right here with this signature is commanding as much as, and oftentimes almost 2x what this number 29 of 150 commanded in May 2023 at the Central States Signature Auction. So shorter one today. Oh, I wanted to show you a couple more things. Just speaking of signatures, I almost forgot. So I don't have a 1938 proof nickel to show you. I did show you a 1938 nickel, a Jefferson nickel. I showed you Buffalo too, right? So really pretty. Here's a proof nickel from a couple of years later. This is actually a type 2, so it's not exactly the same. This is a war nickel, proof war nickel, type 2. But to give you an idea of just, you guys have seen proofs before, I'm sure. And then speaking of signatures and sort of, artificial rarities, you have this guy. I found him when I was fishing around for the 238 nickels. And here's a situation where, of course, you have this artificial rarity created by the mint, first W mint mark nickel. And there's the mint mark on it right there. Very pretty proof. I love proof nickels. I love proof pennies. But that's a very pretty proof. But here it is, signed, authenticated by this U.S. mint designer. So I would say, honestly, if you're going to have somebody sign something, the mint director, I think, is one thing. But when you have the designer sign it, as the case of, the one I just showed you with Donna Weaver, or this case where Felix Schlag, signed it and notarized it. I mean, this thing's not notarized either. I don't think that makes a difference. But so anyway, those are my thoughts for today. Leave your comments down below if you have an opinion about how much premium a signed certificate should have on any numismatic item. Forget about this one. I've showed you another one, a nickel. We'll be doing a lot of stuff with nickels on this channel. I'm a big fan of nickels. I'm an avid collector of them. It won't be the focus of this channel, but you'll see nickels come up again and again in other examples like this. For example, I'll be talking about the W quarter and the 1950 Denver nickel and the parallels and then sort of the cautionary tale there. But that's for future one. I'll be back with a wrap on what I ended up selling this guy for and talking about, what that would mean numismatically and the kind of things that I could purchase with the money from that sale. Hope you guys are all having a great day and hope to see you again soon. Happy collecting.